reviewing Furman versus UVA, the transfer portal, and how will it impact the Who's? Is JWILLY back for 2023? The Doug Fresh question of the week, and more. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the JWILLY Show. Of course, the other guy on the handsome fella on the other side is Jason Williford, and I am Mark Jerome. We are sponsored by Rhines and Rogers, who's been there with us for now 2 years. Kevin, thank you. You're doing a great job. We really appreciate the support. And it's where Charlottesville gets engaged, Jay Wills. Not to mention you can get all your holiday gifts and your other
you get everything. Your Valentine's, Christmas, everything.
All of it. And they're super, super nice and great people and generous. Make sure if you go over there, you tell them we sent you, and Kevin take care of you. Jay Wills, welcome.
Good to see you.
Always. I know.
I've come out of hibernation.
I hear you.
I started to grow the beard back. It seems like every few years I go into one of those hey Jen, how you doing? I go into that hibernation mode. Hey John.
What's up, John?
But I'm back. I'm ready. Let's go.
Glad to have you. I felt so badly for the guys. Only thing I could just that's immediate when the kid hit the shot. I was just like, oh, poor guys.
Yeah, it was tough. It was
my heart breaks for Kihei.
No, it was tough. I just talked to him today. I've been checking on him. He's good. I told him, I said, listen, you may not understand it. I said, but you play basketball. Basketball doesn't define who you are. You're bigger than the game. That this is a point in your life where you got to deal with it, but I was able to overcome the 116. We all were, and so we can handle anything that comes our way. And I've encouraged him. And listen, he's given us all he's got. He was doing the best he could, and it was just one of those plays, But the kid, we're not in this position. We wouldn't have a national title. We wouldn't have won as many games. That kid was the heart and soul of our program for, it feels like 10 years, but for the last 5 for sure.
I'm very careful to raise this when you guys were going on the run in 2019. You had a couple of people, one person, I'm going to confess, who harassed you about it and said, are we sure Kihei's the right dude? And I'm like, Ty and I were talking about the other day. I went to the Hawks Warriors game in Atlanta the other day, and I was with Ty and Dre. And by the way, they were so ecstatic that Purdue lost. Right? But Taj texted me during the game because he was sitting out, and I'm on the flight because our flight was delayed 4 hours going to Atlanta. And he's texting me like, "Did you see the score of the Purdue game?"
Hey, look, I felt for those guys, man, because we know what it's like, and that's hard. But I must admit, I sent a text to my mom and dad and said, well, it looks like we got company. But I know exactly the pain and what they're feeling and going through. And
we'll jump back to that later because I want to talk about the coaches receiving so much criticism for losing, and which I just can completely disagree with. But going back to Kihei, I admitting that I harassed a little bit. And
yeah, we had a conversation, the two of us.
We did. You weren't, and guess what? Oregon. We don't win against Oregon. We don't win against maybe even Gardner-Webb because he hit that big shot going into halftime. Certainly don't win against Auburn. Right? I mean, he just defended little Jared Harper, who was a star, and even little Peyton Pritchard defended the heck out of him. Right?
We know Purdue. He no one else gets to that ball.
Yeah, nobody else. That's right. I mean, he's had such a great career.
No question.
I'm I'm
Game winner. I think he hit a game winner at Virginia Tech for us.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm hurt by the criticism that people, I guess, express, especially through social media.
and that's where it's unfortunate for our guys. And I mean, people have no idea the emails, the voice messages, some of the threats that you get and receive, and some of the some of what the audacity people have. But you take the good with the bad, and it's life lessons. We'll be bigger and better for it, and that's just such a small segment of the population. My guess is 98% are all behind us, and win, lose, or draw, they're with the guys and with us through thick and thin. It's a certain segment that tends to think they have to voice their opinion. And some of the stuff we received when we lost that 116 game, I mean, it was I had my kids, and we got to go through the back of the hotel to get up, death threats. So that's sad.
I remember being in the lobby. I heard that.
Yeah.
I remember being in the hotel room and
Yeah.
death threats or hearing them. All right. Well, let's get to the game. All that's really unfortunate. I agree with you. This is this probably will be a big part of King's life, but you guys didn't win or lose because of that one play.
No question. No question.
And when we review it, like solid start, good start, right? Then they come
Good
back.
start. They came back close at the half. I think I can't remember the exact halftime score. Then we get a lead in the second half. We go up double figures again, and I thought the 1-3-1 really threw a monkey wrench in what we were doing. We were scoring, we were getting stops, and they went zone, and we had a turnover, one possession that led to a score. Then I think we took some quick shots. If those shots go down, different game. But then we had a couple breakdowns defensively where guys got some threes, and look, that time of year, everyone's good. You're in the tournament because you're good, and you got to play. We shoot 2 for 12 from 3. I thought outside of that, our 2-point field goal percentage was pretty good. I think, you just missed some free throws late. Stuff happens. But the guys, I was proud because Furman took the lead. We didn't fold, came back. We took the lead. And they showed fight.
So a couple of things. Up 5 at the half, feeling good. And then you actually go up 10, 12 in the second half. They start coming back. At what point do you guys start feeling pressure? What point do the players start feeling pressure? Like, uh-oh.
Well, I think there was real pressure. Once they cut it to maybe 4 or 6, and we're missing shots, and that's real pressure. I think we got a little tight. But like I said, I thought they kept battling and fighting. They got the lead back. I think we got the lead. Mark, help me. And I want to say we went up 5, maybe 6 late. But I thought Caden Cedric gave us everything. One of his better games of this season, maybe if not his career for us. Double-figure points, rebounds, 4 blocks. He was big time.
He was. You're up 3. You're up 4 with 12 seconds left. That late, you mean, or are you talking about?
A little later, a little earlier than that. I thought maybe 5 or 6. And
Yeah, with and there was a back and forth, right?
Yep, yep.
Late with 6:25, with 6 minutes left, you're up 6, and then it got to 4. Um, and 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 yeah, Jim, that's absolutely right. He had a great game. We're all happy for him, showing a lot of fortitude and resilience. And but the defense, the breakdown of the defense, what do you attribute that to? And why did that happen?
Yeah, some of it was just a lack of discipline um, at a crucial time. I think we went for a steal, missed it. Um, then we had to rotate and scramble, and they did a good job of finding the open shooter. Um, we miscommunicated on a handoff, and the two guys ran into each other. They got to stop behind three. Just some of that stuff that those small things that you can't have that time that at that point in the game, much less this time of year.
Yep. And then when you talk about the 1-3-1, and I was having a conversation with somebody or email exchange with somebody and talking about, did you guys, even though it was said that they didn't really play it all year.
Yeah, no, I think they played maybe 1% of the time, 1 point something percent of the time zone. And it was early in the year. They may have gone to that 8 possessions, something like that. And I don't even know if it was a 1-3-1. It may have been a little bit of a 1-2-2 matchup that they had early in the year. But again, we've seen zone. We prep for zone. We prep for press. You just unfortunate.
But how much do you have to prep for 1-3-1? If I assume you guys, well, I shouldn't assume, but do you guys have a play for 1-3-1?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you call, and that was part of my conversation and me saying, I know they have a play for 1-3-1. I just
Yeah.
wanted to hear you say
Well,
it.
and when they sprung it on, it was probably about 10 minutes left in the game. Um, it it was pretty smart move on their part because of the personnel we had on the floor at the time. So it wasn't necessarily a zone busting team that was out there. Um, and then we made some subs and got guys in that could make some shots um, but we missed. I thought we got some good looks, some corner threes. We penetrated it a couple times and just missed some shots.
Yeah.
And that has really been our MO all year.
There was some criticism about, okay, you guys didn't prep for the 1-3-1, they ran it, but you had to play for it. And
Yeah,
guys missed shots or
yeah,
they didn't get the right play, whatever. And my contention was people are being critical of the coaching staff because you didn't prep for it. You don't necessarily need to prep for it because you have a play for it.
right.
And you call that play and the guys run it.
Well, when you see zone, we've got different zone actions that we do against different zones, and we again we got what we wanted. I just thought from it came and it bit us at an inopportune time, but just shot making.
You call timeouts during the game. And what's the tone of the timeouts? Can you see the guys getting a little nervous and it's like, hey guys, calm down, take it easy. We're still in a good situation. What's the message from the coaching staff?
Hey, relax. Plenty of time. We're good. Keep looking. Take shots when they present themselves. But conversely, we needed to get stops,
Yeah.
and I thought we didn't get the number of stops we needed, and they give them credit whenever they needed to make one, even the last one. I mean, you still got to make that, and they made it. You got it. You hats off to them. They made their shots.
I've been saying throughout the whole season, this year and last year, Jaden Gardner and Armand were the key offensively to winning. I think Armand took 6 shots
Yeah, I wish I had. I don't
Yeah,
have that in
well,
front of me.
it's here. So let me just confirm that. I'm pretty sure Armand took 6 shots, Jaden 9 shots. They both score 8 points. And it's not a knock on them. I just feel like they probably Armand certainly needed to take more shots, right? Um, and we talked about it on the last show, and offensively, not that they needed to be scorers.
Right.
And how in that game could you? Is there a way to got to have for Armand to have gotten more shots, more looks, or just be more aggressive?
Well, easier said than done because, like, as much as yes, we know Armand and JG got to score for us, the other team does too, and so they get defended differently, and um, teams make it hard for them. Um, so in the zone, that 1-3-1 kind of made it hard at times because you're trying to find holes and get to spots and um, you know they ran at shooters um, and I just think yes those two get scouted and the opponents are trying to take them out as the same way we're trying to take the better offensive guys out for the other team.
Yep. You guys call timeout with 2:33 left, 63-60 after they make 2 free throws,
Are we up or down?
down 63-60,
Yeah.
right? Caden ends up getting a 2-point tip shot after a missed play.
Big time chip in. I mean, he fighting two guys off, gets his arm in there, tips it in, big time stick back.
Get another stop.
Yep.
Reese hits 2 free throws. You go up. Get another stop. Caden makes 2 free throws. Now you're up 66-63 with a minute left.
Yep. Just like that.
Just right.
That's the fight I'm talking about. Like they never gave up. They showed the heart of a champion. They kept battling. Um, you know,
We talked about it. I don't know, the previous last show or the previous show before that about free throws at the end of games. And up 6-6-6-3, missed the front end of a 1-1 happens, right? First year guy in there late in the game. He's got to be feeling something, right? And then Kihei makes 1 of 2, up 4, and then the rug falls out and gets a little ugly. They come down. They hit 2 free throws, I guess. Uh,
yep,
they get to the free throw line
yep.
somehow, and then on a I'm not sure about that foul, by the way, on
You
Caden.
know, I can't bring myself to even watch yet. I'll watch soon.
That was another question I was going to have for you later down the road. You answered that, and then the big play. Um, you guys take the ball out. Kies takes the ball, inbounds it. Ball gets reverses back to him. He had possibly now when I rewatched it, IMAX on his to his right, and you I want you to when I guess we'll talk about this when you rewatch it sometime, and we'll revisit it. Caden's all the way down court, which I get, but I saw a big guy like 6 whatever their biggest guy, right, kind of impeding the path and vision of Kihei to get the ball to IMAC. I'm not so sure. And if you haven't played the game before and everybody's saying he's open, he's open, he's open, I'm not sure Kihei saw that, right?
Yeah,
And
I
go ahead.
I'm not sure. I think I did see the end. I'll admit I watched the end, but I haven't watched the entire thing. We got it in perfectly. We knew we had a timeout. If we get in trouble, can't get it in, use your timeout. So guys are in spots. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna assume um, he thought Caden. Look, everybody's up. They got all of these dudes on me. I see him, and you know I'm gonna throw it, and I'm not sure that ball might have got tipped, but you know Reese. I want to say Armand is in the game. I think Reese, Armand, and McNeely are the guards with Kihei and Caden. Is that how we finished?
I can't remember if it was Armand.
Yeah, I think so. So I think Armand was in the middle. He was covered. Um, you know, I- he tried his guts to get that ball out of that double team. You know, we probably should have been yelling timeout, 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 running up to half court. Um, and you know, but it all happened so quickly. Um, you know, and our biggest thing was most of the time we've had trouble getting the ball in against the press, just getting it in, not, you know, once the ball is inbounded. So getting it in, you know, we were ready to burn it. And once we got it in, and I actually think, you know, Kihei might have gotten fouled and was getting grabbed from one of those guys, and ref just let it go.
So they get the steal.
Yeah,
No timeout called by either coaching staff or. And I've been in that situation, and it happens so fast,
right,
right?
right.
It's hard to react. It's so hard to react as a player too. And they get steal, and they come down, hit the big shot. You guys call timeout. 2.2 left. What's the conversation in the huddle? What's the coaching?
You know, that's a lot of time. We've got a last second play we ran. Um, it's positive. Hey, fellas, look at this. Execute this. We've got enough time. We'll get a shot off if we can execute. And we executed. Reese gets a really good look
Yep.
from about half court. Um, and, you know, it didn't fall, but, you know, you still got to encourage them. Hey, look, we got 2 point, whatever it was left, 2.1, 2.2. You know, if we execute this, you guys go here, get to these spots, get this look. You know, we still there was still some hope. Until that thing hits zero, there's still a chance, Mark. You know that.
I would probably be one of those guys that, as a player, I certainly would have been. As a coach, as a coach, I guess you have to be a lot more professional. But burning so much inside, the pain, the anger, whatever, from losing, it would be so hard to go apologize or go down the congratulations line after the game and wish the other team good luck. As a
No, look, we were on the right side of a lot of wins like that. You know, we you know, and we've had our misfortune. But at the end of the day, you show good sportsmanship, tip your hat, and you grow and learn. I guarantee you will learn from this. Um, I don't know exactly what it is just yet, but we'll be better.
Yep, no question. After the game, Suns reports, people making reporters, news media, Twitter,
You
email,
got to stay off of that stuff. See, that's why I don't read that.
good. But people are castigating, right, Virginia basketball, right? That the fact that they can win during a conference, the system doesn't work, go on and on and on and on. And every time I hear something or read, I pretty much stay off except someone I think Spence sent out the tweet from what's his name, the Sports Illustrated guy. I want to say Ford. Spence whenever you can flash it across the screen, whatever his name is, and said this is typical for Virginia, or whatever the comment was. And Ty tweeted something back like, "You made the
But you
same
know,
the year we lost, and you ate to eat your words the following year." At some point, though, does it impact recruiting? Does it impact you guys, like taking a look and saying, when you guys review the video, when you guys have your coaches meetings afterwards, do you ever say, "Hey, we got to make some adjustments," or "What we're doing is fine"? And guys, not to say the kids didn't make plays. I hate saying that and putting it on kids, but the ball didn't fall through the hoop. Or we made some
No,
defensive
no, it's of course we'll look at this as a staff. We have to. It's the same way we did in 18. You go back and what could we have done differently? Where can we be better? But to say, you know, we can't win, we've won. We've won a lot of games. And I I appreciate that. You know, we'll go back collectively as a staff and we'll figure stuff out. We'll be better offensively, defensively, situationally. You have to. Um, and that's just part of it. Um, at the end of the day, there's only going to be one winner of this whole thing. And so, um, you know, you just you give it what you got, and you see where you stand when it's all said and done. And I thought our guys gave us everything, and it was gut wrenching going in that locker room, but we stayed together. We all were together, and we're gonna get through this together.
I imagine lots of hugs, lots of
A lot of hugs, a lot of tears, um, but but gratitude for even being where we were. Gratitude for winning and thankful for winning as many games as we won over the years, and in particular this year. You still have a shared regular season title. Um, I did see somewhere where somebody put up, over the 5 years, would you trade this for this? Absolutely. Give me what we've done over the 5 years. I guarantee there are 360 other programs. There are a handful of teams that have done what we've done. I guarantee everybody else would trade that in a heartbeat.
We talked about. I mentioned the news media, the news sources on whatever platform, and everybody. This Dougie and I talk about. Dougie talks about all the time how hard it is to be that one team that wins. But you look at all the programs. Look at all the programs that don't make it to the tournament, that don't have the success during the regular season. And this is not like a puff piece or I'm giving lip service. But you guys have been so successful, and the tournament haven't been successful. But look at all the teams. Look at Purdue. Look at Kansas.
It happens. It happens. I mean, this is why it's March Madness. This is the beauty of the tournament. This is the beauty of a one-off, one game. Anything can happen, and you got to be ready.
Yep.
But I wouldn't. I obviously, yeah, I'd like to win. In advance a little more, but I wouldn't trade where we are, where this program is, and where it's going.
Is there any comfort in knowing, like, that what you just said? It's March Madness. Anybody can lose. Look at Purdue. Somebody sent a tweet out about Purdue basketball. Matt Painter's, I guess, getting castigated as well
Uh-oh.
from not having more success in the tournament and losing to a 16 seed. I don't know if it was a 14 seed last year, 15 seed last year, year before. And it's not just him. Look at Arizona. Arizona's lost in the first couple of rounds recently.
If you continue to get there and you go enough, stuff happens. You'll get knocked off occasionally.
But is there comfort in knowing, for you guys, understanding like the horrible calls, the horrific, threatening calls you guys receive and emails?
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah, Danny, good point. Thank you. Is there comfort in that for you when for the coaching staff or the players? Like, we're not the only ones. This happens.
Yeah. yeah, but it's basketball. I mean, you win, you lose, you come back and fight another day. It's the nature of the business, nature of sport in general.
Yep.
I mean, I go through it with my Steelers all the time.
Yeah. I know you do. Who, by the way, is not the best team in Pennsylvania.
No, I know.
Okay, good. I'm glad you know that. All right, so check this out. So you were just talking about making adjustments, and which is going to lead me into our next segment about the transfer portal. And I'm not asking you who's leaving, who's staying, because first of all, I can't imagine you would put that information out there for someone else who hasn't already, for that particular kid, who hasn't shared that information and who hasn't made it public. So I would never that'd be, I think, unprofessional and for both of us to talk about it. But at what point, and we've got this question from a lot of people, and we've seen these in the forums, and at what point when you start to make these adjustments, do you start having these exit meetings or these follow-up meetings with the players where they say, "Hey, I am coming, I'm staying." What part of the season or what part of the year after the season's through and complete?
Yeah, I think with the emergence of the portal, those meetings are happening. They're happening this week. Um, and we'll know in due time what our roster looks like. But we knew we had to go in the portal anyway. So we're in it. You're watching a ton of film, making calls. But I think most people, unless you're still playing, have to be. It's just where we are, the climate of where college basketball is. Um, there's going to be some turnover, and you got to go fill roster needs. Um, and so I don't exactly know what ours looks like just yet, but we only signed 2 high school kids. So you've got to plug holes. Kihei's gone, Ben's gone, Jaden's gone. Um, and so we're still waiting to see, what those other guys and they've got some eligibility. Reese has got decisions to make in regards to, with putting his name in and testing and doing all of that. And we'll see where that stands.
So at what point do you start identifying guys, and is there something specific that you're looking for right now in a position?
Yeah, I think we're just looking, best players. Obviously shooting. Shooting is a priority. Can we find positionally um, guys, interior on the perimeter who can score? And we're just looking. We're casting a wide net. The problem is, until we know exactly what's going on with here, it's hard to tell guys who are in the portal to be patient and slow down because they've got so many options. I mean, this is like speed dating. You got guys that are getting 15, 20 calls from different schools. Um, and they're having to figure out like where I'm doing a Zoom with this school, I'm going to visit this school. You know, it just is so fast. It happens quickly. Um, but then it'll slow down during the final, during the final four, and then once those teams the finals are over and everybody's completely done with NIT teams and final, those final four, then it starts back up again, and it, it's new. It's so new and crazy, but it's where we are.
So did you guys start identifying players, student athletes, the minute they enter the transfer portal, or do you guys
Yes,
have some kind of? Do you ever have any indication that someone so maybe? Do you guys get calls maybe from somebody saying, "Oh,
yes.
someone is definitely leaving," and maybe you start
So
taking?
so you know you you always are checking the portal. There are kids that are putting those names in. There were some mid-year names that and you couldn't technically go in unless you were a graduate student until whatever Monday that was. So I don't even know the number now, but it's overwhelming when you open that thing up. I mean, you're looking at kids, and yeah, you know, they're AAU coaches, high school coaches, you know, sometimes are, you know, hey, you know, my kids not happy. Would you have interest if and when and you know, all of that. So there's also, you know, some of that going on as well.
Are you guys under the I guess the belief or the I guess following through with a lot of other schools that are not looking at too many first years or incoming fresh first years versus looking at juniors, seniors?
I think you got to look at it. Anyone that fits whatever your particular need is, regardless of year. The more experience, obviously, the more attractive to a lot of programs, not just us. But you know, you're looking at everybody, especially for us that shooting, you know. And so I know we've got an extensive spreadsheet of guys, and I've watched maybe 6 or 7 different dudes just today. Synergy film. Yeah, I'm so sick of watching film, but you got to do it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I appreciate you answering that question and going through the game. Then it's a tough review. I'm gonna relive that. But as a coach, that's what's required, right? That's how you are really good at your job, right? That's handle, as you mentioned before, the tough times with the good times. So there's lots of rumors circulating about JWILLY.
My phone's been blowing up. I've received. It's funny how this stuff gets out because I haven't been contacted or talked to anybody about anything. I chuckle. I am very happy where I am, and so we'll see what happens.
Okay. I mean, I happen to be very happy where you are too, but it's not my family would make a decision for. But
yeah, my biggest priority right now, Mark, is figuring out, okay, what will our roster look like? Coaches finishing up these meetings, and then where we go from here.
So
that's my sister.
Hey, y'all. Hey, me, what's happening? So, I mean, if I'm you, I got to be thinking, this is such a great spot. And I remain the associate head coach. I played here for years. I'm the associate coach right now. TB's not going to coach till he's 90.
The problem is that TB has only got me by a few years. So if he keeps coaching, we'll be the same age.
You'll be ready at 60, 65. All right. Right. Well, I'm hoping that's the path it happens. But I hear you. I mean, you got your family.
I'll be, God willing, I'll be 50 this year. I think TB's what, 53, something like that.
A little older than that.
But, not much.
Yeah. Not much. But all right. Well, I know Dougie's really excited to come on. That's right, Dougie.
Thank you. I love you guys.
It was no one's. What happened, JT? Thank you. We're getting a lot of comments, folks. People expressing their firm. Patino is 70. He is. That's right. That's right. Going on 71. Thanks, John. Family show. Dougie is he's so excited to come on. He's got lots of questions. So Dougie, come on in.
And I control my own thing now, which is the best part. By the way, look at I'm ready to play. I got pack line shorts. Can you see those?
I see.
Show those, Dougie. Go down because you know what? We sell those online, right?
Fresh, you got to back the camera up.
I'm trying.
Or you got to back up.
Mark is saying some weird things to me.
All right,
Pack line.
pack line.
There we
I
go.
like those.
Pack line on the front. I got the shooting. This is my shooting shirt. It's not my
Are
official
those
game
locker
jersey.
room access shorts?
Shorts are.
Yeah, man.
All right, I need a pair.
T-dubs. This is the dope shit. I've already announced, by the way, Jay.
Ding, ding.
If you do happen to go anywhere, I'm in the transfer portal immediately. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. We have a lot of sad people.
You could just come back to UVA, Dougie.
No, I'm going to the transfer portal. If JWILLY leaves, I'm in the transfer portal. Right. And I'm gonna see who comes after me at that point, Marky. What's up, TT Amy? So, you said something interesting. I'd never thought about, like, you call it speed dating with the transfer portal, and it's just part of the game, and you guys have to adjust. What's kind of the feeling? Because when you have transfers out, you may be dealing with these kids since they're a sophomore, junior. So it's a long process, right, for the high school kids. Right. And then if somebody leaves, that's a breakup of sorts, right? And then you got to go speed day. It's kind of like being on the rebound, so to speak. Is that, like, can you speak to that a little bit, or did you already answer it, if that makes sense?
No, it makes sense. So it really is. And as far as how we have to vet and you guys that we want to fit our culture and all of that, the buy-in, it makes it extremely difficult. So you're covering your base and having to talk to a whole lot of people about certain, a particular kid. But you got to do that quickly, fresh. Like you can grow a relationship with, like you said, a year and a half, 2 years, recruiting certain high school kids, and you get a really good feel for them. But you're in the portal now. Fortunately, sometimes there are guys that we may have looked at, or there was a prior relationship. You saw him out of high school, the AAU coach, the program. You get there's still some feel for a guy.
Right.
But sometimes, you're just, hey, this kid's shooting 40% from three. He's what we need. Let's look at him.
Right. And some of the quickest ones you've had have been some of the greats, right? Jaden Gardner and Trey Murphy. I don't know if Trey Murphy was on your
Trey
radar. He was smaller.
Trey was a kid that I actually looked at when he was in high school.
Right. So you were familiar a little bit.
And so and I know his uncle. So there was a connection. And then Gardner, Kyle knew from his time playing with his AAU program.
Yeah.
And I want to say he may have even looked at him at one point when he was at Liberty or Radford. So Kyle knew more of the background on him.
From that level. Yeah, I got you.
So
I also like when Marky got
Sam Hauser was the same way. Anthony Gill was the same way. All those transfers.
That's right, AG. I forgot.
Yeah.
I like when you guys were talking about the game. I saw the competitive circa 1991 JWILLY talking about it. The competitive nature comes out. It's tough. I know it's not easy. I know you don't get past it. But for people out there that, and including myself, because I don't know, when can you relax? I mean, you guys have, for this, you got to be able to take a week or 2 weeks and go on vacation or be with your family. Like is that set on a calendar, June 1st or something like that? Or how does that work for you and the staff?
It won't be for a while. You've got portal potentially.
Yep.
You've got workouts with the guys that are coming back up until you got postseason workouts. Then you got open period in April where you go out recruiting high school kids again, AAU tournaments. In April. So May will be a little bit of a downtime once our guys are done with exams and after graduation. Then you're right back out. There's 2 June sessions. and you got camp. Our guys are back in summer school, so you start those summer workouts. So a little bit of May and not until August will you get some time.
I got you. So after Easter, because we
But
got
I'll have a few. I may take a long weekend here where I don't go to the office on a Friday, and I got Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yeah, good Friday's coming up at some point, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a busy spring. You're not gonna really be able to take a vacation, are you? Because you got your boys playing.
Well, for me now with having teenage kids doing AAU, so you throw that in, yeah.
Oh, for sure. And when does Blake and Elijah come? Is it? I think his dad told me June 5th. Does that sound right? For the new guys to get in.
It may
get
be
in
a
the
little
mix?
later. I don't know exactly when summer session starts, summer 2, but they'll be in June for summer 2. It could be middle of June.
I got you. I spent some time with one of your signees' fathers after the game, and we got through it. So all good. Any favorites? Any favorites for the tournament now? Not that you like them, but who do you think wins this thing?
Fresh, outside of watching Ron Sanchez win the CBI tonight, I
That's
haven't
right.
watched a whole lot of basketball. So congrats to Ron.
That's right.
He got 21 wins on the year and got a championship.
Hey, anytime you win that last one, I
Yep.
don't care, right? Me and you've been there as well. So.
Something to build on, and I'm happy for he and Vic. I watched a little bit, and I couldn't tell you all 16 teams that are left, but UConn, I thought looked really good. I watched both of their games, and we scrimmaged them this year. I thought they look good. They're finally, everybody's healthy, and they're playing through the big fella.
Yeah, I haven't watched much UConn. I think a team we played at home. I have Houston at this point after we're out. Houston scores. If you go to the bathroom during a Houston game and come back, they scored 10-0. It happens in like 30 seconds. So
yeah,
that's what. And there's some grown tough dudes. What we got, Marky? I'm out of questions.
A lot of questions.
Hey, I keep looking down, so I apologize, but this phone's going crazy.
Is it portaling?
Portal or dudes just sending me texts.
No phone calls from Northern Virginia, Washington D.C.
No.
I was good. I was timing it.
I know.
It was going to take Dougie to get there.
I know. I was watching Jason's face, and they do the face recognition when you may or might be telling the truth, and blinked his eyes, nodded his head, all that. Smiled. All good, man. All right, well, you know where we want you, so but you got to do your thing.
What we got?
Great season, man. Jay, great season.
Question? What we got?
All right.
I asked the bundled question right there. I can't say, I do have a question. This might be unfair, and you can ding it and not answer it. If you happen to have a son or a nephew, but let's say a son on your team, and he comes in and says, "Dad, I'm going to the transfer portal." Does the dad take over or the coach?
The dad probably, and I would want to know what the heck, why. And then I would tell him, it's the best thing for you. We chose this place for a reason. You get your butt back there and you stick it out.
There's a great Jeff Capel wrote a great article about his daddy coming down to in the Players Tribune, right, Marky? Jeff was starting, everything's good, and he starts complaining, chirping to his mom. I don't know, Mom. His dad came to his dorm with a U-Haul, JWILLY. He said, "Let's go, man." He's like, "What do you mean, let's go?" He said, "You're not happy here. You're starting, you're playing 30 minutes a game, but you don't like it. Let's go. We're going home."
Wow.
That's one of my favorites.
Well, I mean, my story here at Virginia, I didn't play at all. My first year. I go home Christmas break and I'm complaining. And my dad got on the phone, called Jeff and said, whatever you need to do, do it. He ain't coming home. I'll get him in the gym. And so right after, like I went home we were at John Marshall High School. He had me in there. And he said, you're going to stick it out. And that was it. That's the last I complained about anything.
Best thing ever.
It was, and that was it. My high school coach said the same thing.
Yep.
You're there. You're in good hands. With great people. Figure it out.
Yep. All right, we got some stuff from the audience. From Elliot Who. Now that Cavs future is the NIL venue for UVA, to what extent does that affect recruiting and player retention? And do you have any interaction, or does the coaching staff have any interaction with
No, we're not allowed to do that. And that's all player and their families with Cavs futures. We're out of that NIL thing.
Do you guys you don't even know deals or money or anything? You have no idea if Kie gets $5 or $1 million?
I don't know if they necessarily have to report it. I think I don't know.
I find it hard to believe that most schools or some schools are adhering to that.
Yeah.
No chance.
No,
no chance.
No, I don't know what others are doing, but I do know, I think NIL is now part of it. I mean, I think you've got to have access to NIL deals, and kids got to be able to earn off of their name, image, and likeness. I mean, it comes up. You recruit a kid, it comes up. Hey, tell me what can I get? And so, best thing we can tell them. The best thing we can tell them is this is what our current guys, this is what they've been able to do. And
you made me think of another thing. Do you have any present players that might come to you and say, Reese knows a kid he grew up with in Milwaukee or Louisiana who went to Texas Tech, let's say, whatever. I'm making names up. Not really. I'm not really making names up, but I am. Do you ever have kids? Like I saw Armando Baycott. He went out on Twitter. He said, "Who wants to hoop with me? Send me a DM," which is kind of funny. I know you know him probably. But do your kids ever, the players ever come and say, "I think we should look at this guy," or is it just totally separate?
No, I mean, a lot of times what we'll do is, hey, this kid played in your program. Do you know him? Like, or this kid he was in your AAU program, or he's from your area. Do you know him?
Right.
So that always helps because, the players knowing each other, they all talk to each other, and they recruit better than we do half of the time. So, especially when you get kids to visit and they get to hang out with you guys, they sell it. They do a better job than we do.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I think I'm trying to think there are a couple guys that have played in the same AAU program that were years younger and have known each other. That always helps.
No, for sure. And it's the chemistry as well. So
go
ahead, Marky. Bring it, Spencer. Come on, man. Come through a couple of questions.
Yeah, Spence, come on, let's go.
All right, here we go. I'm going from the forum. This is from Jasnut UVA on the forum. How closely do you follow the other UVA Virginia teams? Are you excited for the lacrosse and baseball teams and the women's swimming with the NCAA championship?
Do I follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I followed swimming and diving. They were doing their thing. Congrats. Baseball is off to a good start. I used to go to a lot of the games when the boys were younger. now that they're so involved in stuff, I haven't been able to get over there. Soccer games in the fall, I like. Lacrosse now is lacrosse now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are we in lacrosse?
We were number 1. We lost to Maryland. I don't know where we're at now.
Yeah. So Lars's kids are at the same school as my kids, so I see him from time to time. So I like that. I do try to get over, but I follow. I'm always rooting. And whenever there's something that I can retweet, from one of the teams, I try to do that.
All right. All right. From AQ on the forum, how do you approach planning off-season skill development for returning players? And what's the balance between getting guys ready for specific roles for the next season and generally trying to get them better at everything?
Yeah, so off-season is that approach is typically just a holistic, where you're working on completeness. You're working on their whole game, and just skill development, shooting, finishing, ball handling, not so much team-oriented stuff, but just position work where we're just trying to get the guys and develop them and get them better.
Do they go play pickup anywhere like we used to?
So they'll play because we can touch them now, Doug. Whereas back when we were in school, coaches couldn't do anything.
Thank goodness.
We get to work with them, and then they do have a couple days a week where they'll play pickup.
All right. This one's from Schmitty on Instagram. Is JWILLY a Costco guy?
No, but my mother-in-law is a Costco. She loves Costco.
People that love it. I'll tell you that much.
No, my mother-in-law, that's her store. I'm probably more Sam's Club.
Okay. to get on.
BJ's.
All right. Next up, we got, where do you get your tips for transfer prospects? So is it through networking, previous recruiting relationships, subscription services, online tools? And then what do you use the most heavy and what do you not use as much?
So tips, and then obviously now it's social media. It seems like there's somebody announcing that they're going in the portal. And we're always checking that, and it is a tool that we have to check, and that's just through the NCAA. I saw there's a kid out of Army came in the transfer portal. I think he's a good shooter. And it just makes me think, like, do you give preference to teams, or is it like everybody's fair game? Meaning, are you like, he's an Ivy League kid, he probably can't play here, or you know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense, or is everybody got to be checked out at this point? No, everyone's checked out. You go through the stats. There's some kids that are in the portal that it's just mind-boggling why they're in the portal. You look at their stats and
where they're going to go.
Right, but and for whatever reason, I know kids go in there, but then it's but then there are guys that are in the portal that they can produce. And then. Obviously guys that are in our league now, you got firsthand knowledge of those guys.
All right. We got one from John Schick right now coming in. Is the portal going to start influencing how we approach investing a year's scholarship in a kid coming that we're pretty sure we'll redshirt?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a great question, John. A lot of the times, guys that we have redshirted, there have been conversations throughout the recruiting process. We're very transparent, and there are conversations that we have where the kids understand that could be an option, and a lot of times, it's the right option. For whatever reason, there's depth at a certain position. There may be the kid needs to develop, and so we're going to have to look at how, the portal will impact that, because they can just go and play right away. But you also want to be fair to the kid. And as long as we're transparent in the process and they understand that it is a process, redshirting still might be an option, depending on the makeup, obviously, of the roster and the particular need.
All right. We got another one from AQ on the forum. What does the coaching staff self-evaluation process look like at the end of the season? What are the main things that you think the coaching staff needs to work on for next season?
Yeah, it's a holistic approach. I think you look at offensively, defensively, like I said, situational, OB under, side outs, all of that stuff. Where can we incrementally get better and improve going into the next year? Is it schematically doing something different offensively? Is it, we're probably not going to change our approach defensively. We're going to do what we do. But do we tinker with, doing something a little different in ball screens, or, do we need to improve, out of timeout plays, or do you put a zone in? I've been trying to get one of those in for 14 years. I don't know if that'll happen. But you're always looking at and self-evaluate. You'll watch film. You'll go back and watch players. Practice. Are we going too long? Do we need to shorten stuff? You're always assessing all of that.
Who drew up the final play? I guess was it for Reese, or was it a bunch of guys kind of coming around and whoever's open
on that shot?
Yeah,
the last second shot. No, that's just we've got a set that we run, and you got multiple options off of that.
Right, you guys like people coming around. I couldn't believe how open it was.
No, it was wide open. And
well, the crazy thing is, not that they didn't have any time, but TV was showing your huddle, and the clipboard, the whiteboard, the play was straight up on national TV.
Was it really?
I said we see what's coming. It was right there. It was right on TV.
Oh man.
Yep.
But
there's no time, I assume. But
so
they didn't do anything to defend it.
Depending on seconds and how much time's left, there's several different things you could do off of that. So, if there was a little more time, we could have maybe gotten it would have been a different look for somebody else.
Yeah, 2.2 is long, but it's short. It's a one pass scenario.
Dougieism.
Thank you. I don't know where I am, but I know where I'm going, Marky. That's my best one yet. That's when I get lost in Charlottesville.
Spence, I'm not sure. Apologies, I had to run out to. I've been drinking large glasses of water. I had to run out to go to the bathroom real quickly. So I'm not sure where you left off, Spence. Did you get to the question about Bond and Dunn?
Not yet.
So will Don? This is from Who and True, from the forum, from Freshers Forum. Will Dunn and Bond get their chances to play at the 3 more so than the 4?
I think a lot of that remains to be seen. I think Dunn did a little bit of both this year for us. It depends on how they develop, and what we look like, roster wise. But I envision both of those guys playing a little bit of both of those positions over the year next year. I can see a lineup with maybe both on the floor at the same time. So,
Jay, is it mandatory for everybody to be back for summer sessions? Is it a mandatory thing, or does it depend on schedules? And we didn't have it so mandatory.
We encourage them to come back. Sometimes there's with some of the international guys we've had, there's been during competition years, those guys will miss a session where they may go play with their national team in the summer. You know, I don't know if we've had a guy like go and do a summer internship where, you know, they're excused, but most of the time they're all back for summer.
Yep, that's what we did.
Spence, I don't know if I missed any between the last question and AQ, but if I did not, if I did, you can jump in. But if I did not, we've got a couple other good ones. We've got a lot of good questions. Some of it I think I covered during the show previous to the questions. Will the change? This is from CP Porter. Will the change in college basketball transfer landscape? With the change, my apologies. Will redshirting become more rare?
I think it depends on the program. Yeah, I mean, I think I answered earlier. You heard me talk about how we are transparent and how we approach it. But yeah, I mean, look, anytime you can leave and even if you were redshirt and go play right away, yeah, I think it'll have people you know, looking at that a little closer.
All right, this one's for I don't know how you pronounce this. JEA_buddy Instagram. So why do you all shorten the bench in regular season? I think that's what the question is. Our starters look a little tired in March, or look tired in March.
Yeah, I think we're playing who we deem is going to help us win games, regardless of if it's November or February, March. You know, we're trying to win as much as we can.
Yep. We may have answered this already. If this might be a little more specific to what we talked about earlier. This is from Lance Payton Instagram. What do you think are the remaining gaps for next season's roster?
Remaining gaps?
Yes.
So I need to
talk about shooting.
Obviously shooting, but I'll need to answer that when I know exactly what our makeup. We may have to do another JWILLY show.
We're always happy to do that. And then so now for yourself, we talked about you going to AAU games for your children. What does JWILLY do in the next week or two?
I am recruiting, either going to see high school kids or going to see or having kids visit potential transfers. I'll get a little time fresh during the Final Four. There's a dead period, so I won't be able to go recruit during that time. So get a little downtime during the Final Four.
Do you go? You gonna go to the Final Four now?
I probably won't go. And then I'll be transporting Austin to and from AAU practice.
Which is quite a hike for you, right? How far is that?
2 hours.
And how often do they practice?
Twice a week during the week, and then weekend, Saturday, Sunday. We're committed to once a week during the week. We can't commit to both days. He's
got a high IQ and he talks enough trash for the rest of the DC cats. So
he doesn't talk enough trash. That's the problem. I wish he talked more.
I hope he plays with Connor so we could get that carpool going.
We've got a question from Randy Allen. Can the volleyball team offer a scholarship? No, I'm not answering that. To a young lady at Creighton. I didn't know what that quote question was. I should have read it before I asked. All right. So caught me off guard there, Spency. All right. Before we move on to another subject, really important, I want to raise this, that one of our own, Tony Bennett, is having some health issues right now. We want to wish him the best. just such a great dude, really smart, really funny, and he's part of our family, part of our team, and we hope he's gonna.
Yeah, we missed him this year, man. He brings a lot to it.
Yeah.
Well, all the best.
Please, everyone, hold him in your hearts and wish him the best as you throughout your days, the next coming weeks. So wish that. Any Dougie, if we had a quick pool right now,
Pool.
NCAA pool.
Yep.
I know you're taking
Houston.
We know that. Jay Will, and we're gonna have a little wager for push-ups.
I've watched them. I've watched Houston a lot.
I'm not doing. I told you I'm allergic to push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups, pull-ups, anything with an up. I'm not doing it. So I will not bet.
All right, well, just throw your team out there. You have to take one team.
I told you UConn.
You said UConn.
Good ball.
Sorry, I'm in 3 different pools, and I just picked all 3 different teams. So UConn is 1, UCLA is 1, and I think
if you say it, you're gonna get the self ding.
Who?
If he says Gonzaga, he gets the self ding.
oh gosh, no.
Are they still in?
Hey. So listen though, I will say this: our ACC brethren are playing good ball. Miami's
Real good.
playing good ball.
I'm really hoping they win.
Yeah.
Who'd they just blast? Indiana. Jay, if you watched the end of that game, Miami had like 7 dunks in a row toward the end of the game. Indiana's trying to come back.
No,
And I thought about you because you guys are absolutely right. Isaiah Wong is not Sam Cassell. It's a totally different player.
Yeah. I don't know what you were thinking, Fresh.
I was reaching. I was trying to be like,
You see
Yeah.
that
say something
three he hit
smart.
from like 10 feet behind the 3-point line at a really critical part of the game?
I just saw him get dunk after dunk after dunk when the other team is down 8 trying to come back, and they couldn't.
All right, so I got a few teams. T-Dubs and Spence, if you guys want to weigh in, folks, if you guys want to weigh in as we say goodbye to Jay Willie on another excellent season. We appreciate you jumping on after an L in the tournament. Very humble of you.
Can I ask one more question that might be overstepping my bounds?
Shoot.
Do you guys have any recruits in the transfer portal planning visits in? Can I ask that question or not?
You can ask, but
Okay. We don't know. We don't know yet. I got you.
can't tell you.
I mean, I'm not saying who from Texas Tech or from Maryland. I mean, from not Maryland, Louisville.
I don't know.
I know a little bit now, Jay. I know a little
You
bit.
know enough just to be dangerous.
Exactly. And just to keep me away from when they have the visits.
Well, Jay, we appreciate it all year long. You've been incredible.
No, I appreciate
the
you
best.
guys.
Everybody loves it.
Shared a lot about the team. That's right, Chris. So you've given us a lot of great information. People seem to enjoy you and your spirit and your energy, and we're such great followers of the program. And
No, I appreciate them. I still can't believe that people actually tune in and listen to me. But I appreciate it. Much love. I appreciate all of you.
well, you did such a great job, so people keep coming back.
They keep asking for it. If we don't do it in 1 week, that's all they ask for. When's the Jay Willie show? And then they bombard us with questions, like the tough questions.
Yep.
Well, I try to give them a honest answer. So I hope they appreciate that.
We're all proud of you, boy.
Once again, folks, we are brought to you by Rhines and Rogers, where Charlottesville gets engaged. You don't have to get engaged to go visit Rhines and Rogers. Go see my man Kev, great dude. Jay Wills, I will see you, if not in Charlottesville, I'll see you somewhere on the circuit.
Are you in Atlanta?
I am in Atlanta for the Under Armour tournament, for the Under Armour circuit in July.
Okay.
Not prior to that.
All right.
Prior to that. I'm in Phoenix in South Carolina and Atlanta.
So is that Rock Hill?
Yes.
Beautiful facility.
Okay.
Rock Hill.
Big time facility.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah. All right.
We'll be able to do well in that. All right. So we'll see you soon. And I'm sure we'll be in touch talking. And
Carowinds in Rock Hill. All my family moved to Rock Hill from Illinois.
Dougie Fresh, you're going to keep the forums going, of course.
Of course, we'll do a Jay Willie show once everything gets situated and we know the roster next year and all that stuff. That'd be a good way to.
Yep. So, folks, please check
going.
out the forums. Check out the gear we have on our site, lockerroomaccess.com.
T-Dub, I need the shorts, T-Dub. I need the pack line shorts.
What color?
Orange.
Fresh. What
Orange. No, these are the best. That's the color we're wearing next year.
Yeah.
Come on, TB.
Need those.
The black ones are really nice. I got a pair of the black ones. The T-Dubs, of course.
All right, I need both.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You heard that, T-Dubs. I'm sure T-Dubs listening. All right. So once again, we are out of here. Folks, thanks so much for your year-long commitment to listening to us and watching the show.
Good job, Marky. You keep it going, boy.
Always. Dougie, I'm giving you one just in case because it's sooner or later.
Damn.
Amy's lobbying for Austin and Cam to get a pair as well.
They got enough.
All right.
Yeah,
JWILLY, talk to you soon. The best
Talk to you guys soon.
everything else, and all the best to the family.
All right.
Take care.